What's up, everybody? I'm the Mana Dork. I don't have a catchphrase, but what I do have is another standard 8 rare deck for you. Our starting point today was Enduring Curiosity from the new set. 2 blue for a 4/3 enchantment creature with flash. Like all the other enduring creatures from this set, when it dies, if it was a creature, we get to return it to the battlefield as an enchantment, but no longer a creature. And it's also got the text that whenever a creature we control deals combat damage to a player, we get to draw a card. I saw this, and the first thing I thought of was a very old Mercadian Masks card called Coastal Piracy, which was an enchantment for the same cost and the same draw type effect. Coastal Piracy went into a old deck from back then that was called Blue Skies, so I decided to try and recreate that, combining the extra draw with cheap, evasive creatures and a little bit of disruption. So for creatures, we've got 2 Harrier Strix, 4 Spyglass Siren, 4 Zephyr Sentinel. Now, we don't have a whole lot in the way of soldiers, but the ability to pull somebody off the board in response to a removal spell is going to be quite handy. Plumecreed Escort times 4. Faerie Mastermind times 2. 4 copies of Floodpits Drowner from the new set. 1 in a blue for a 2/1 with flash and vigilance. When it enters, we get to tap a creature an opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. And then we can pay 1 in a blue and tap the Floodpits Drowner and shuffle both the Drowner and target creature with a stun counter on it back into the owner's libraries. We got 2 Tishana's Tidebinders and 4 of the Enduring Curiosity. For non-creatures, 4 copies of Into the Flood Maw, 4 copies of Phantom Interference, and 3 copies of Bottomless Pit Locker Room. This is one of the rooms from the new set. Bottomless Pool half is a single blue. Return up to 1 target creature to its owner's hand. The Locker Room is 4 in a blue. And whenever 1 or more creatures we control deal combat damage to a player, we get to draw a card. So it sort of acts as a 5th through 7th copy of Into the Flood Maw. And once in a while, a backup lesser version of the Enduring Curiosity. 23 lands to fuel it all. And we're just going to make little guys that fly overhead and then eventually draw extra cards off of them, hitting the opponent, and we'll win that way. That's the theory, at least. Let's see if it works. I'm going to go find an opponent. That'll give you a chance to find the like and subscribe, and I'll see you over there. All right, we can live with this. There's the opponent. Keep 7. Making us discard. I think it's going to be that one. We got a new one to replace it. Aha, that's tapped down. What you going to do about that? Nothing. Well, I mean, untap it next turn, but in that moment, we asserted our dominance. Get in for 1. Pass it back. Realm Breaker. Alright. And upgrade to a 2-power creature. Tap that again. What you gonna do about it this time? Oh, go to your turn and untap again. It's a never-ending cycle. I'm gonna mill us and get a land, maybe? No land for them. Let's go full bore and just put everybody out. Get the opponent down to 12. Surprised we haven't run into any spot removal yet. Use him to filter. And they're looking at our dudes, so I'm guessing they were waiting for us to be on low on mana before they attempted a removal spell. They're thinking and contemplating. Alright. So they pick off one of our guys. Ooh, that's just who we want to see. Get in for 3 and draw a couple cards. Pass it back. Jace, are they going to mill us?
Surrender your mind to Phyrexia's will.
Are they going to shrink one of our dudes for a moment? They shrink the dude, alright.
You can be made to obey.
I'll attack you. Opponent's at 5. We get an Ancestral Recall. Pass it back. Let's see what they've got. So we've got counters, we've got other ways to interfere. Go ahead and give our boy Hexproof, so they don't get to shrink. I'm good with that because we'll still get the enchantment out of the deal. And we've still got lethal on the board with 2 counters in hand. And 5 to the dome. Nowhere to run. I don't think we're doing that today. We run where we want to, which is all over you. Good game, opponent. Opponent's on the play, but we're on the win. Let's do this. They say hello. We say hello. Now on black, white. Alright. Land, go. For 2. Got this guy. Coming for 2 in return. And we're going to hold off so we can Floodpits this turn and have Escort back up still, and then next turn we'll hit him with the Curiosity. Victor. Eerie. Surveil 2. Second time, discard a card. Third time, creature from graveyard to play. Alright. And they're going to gain a life. In which case we're going to let him attack. And then we will Floodpits the Victor. Make this guy so we can draw an extra card next turn. So many cards. And drop, go. What does it do this wound? Here. We'll just send everybody. Three. Curiosity back out. We already landed this turn. So I think what we're going to do Victor locked down. We've got the Plumecreed if they try for one of our creatures, and Into the Flood Maw to deal with the wound if that needs to be the case instead. Prince. Pick that creature up. My dog was excited because he knew we were about to win. Alright, we can try this. And the turn. Back. Who are they gonna make? Nobody. Let's run one of these out just to see what happens. Alright. So they get a couple lands. Straight in the bin. That's not a land for us. That's an invasion. Still not a land. Tap down that tyrant. Still no land. those two away for later. Well, mine for later, theirs for never. And I think that's going to do it. Alright, let's run it. There's a land. There's a siren. There's a token. We're off to the races. Here's the one. Say its name. Its name has been said. Get in for 4. Counter and Plumecreed and Floodpits at the ready. Say go to that thing. Get in. Not let them get a land. Wire might it is. Curiosity. Get in for a bunch. They say, oops, I'm assuming they intended to block and then haywire the curiosity. Opponent picks it up. Sentinels on parade. Alright, let's try it. At least with the multiple sentinels, we'll get the soldier trigger on occasion. Something that we don't generally get to do in this deck. We'll let them keep that. I don't think it's worth the bottomless pool. I'm sure they'll have somebody else that makes more sense to throw in the pool. Of course, if they're all frogs, they want to be in the pool. That's what frogs do, is swim. Or splash. And drink tea. Well, maybe not drink tea, but... put some counters on there. And get in for one. Make a mastermind. Throw the bat in the pool. Pass it back. Bill. And a bat. And counters for the bat. And a backup bat. These little flyers are going to be a problem. 17 all. Bat. By pass, I mean no block. Soldier trigger. Bat out of the way. Lock, attack, get that extra card. They are doing the thing that they want to do. That's a lot of counters, and we're out of bounce spells now. This is where we top deck Hibernation? No. We're going to give it to him. Alright. Land go. And go in Portico. Pass it back. More tapped lands. Alright. In for 2. Dash that guy out. Get in. Make the kitty. See if they have some sort of response. They don't, and we get free cards. Down. Kind of expected that. We'll keep chugging along. Sunflower it is. Of voila. Get in. Archangel Wrath. Who do we have under here? All right. See who they target. In response, get that out of the way. Bounce that guy. Tap that guy. And give this guy hexproof. And come over for a clean 4. Or 8 rather. 4 dudes. And that wraps it up. And that's the deck. Ran fairly well. We wound up with a 7-5 record, so not amazing. I think I've got a little too much in the way of bounce spells and not enough in the way of actual counters. So I'm thinking the bottomless pool isn't needed, and it should be some sort of counter. Harrier Strix also didn't do a whole lot, so I'm thinking maybe there's some other more impactful creature instead of just worrying about having extra 1-drops to sort of set up the early game and get more out of the curiosity when that hits. You know, go with something else that's in the 2 or 3 drop lanes that's going to impact the board a little bit more. But if you're still here, thanks for making it to the end of the video. I appreciate you taking the time to hang out and watch me play some games. Feel free to leave a comment if you like what you saw, or if there's anything you'd like to see me do differently. Don't forget to like the subscribe and button the smash or whatever it is you do to show that you appreciate the video. Thanks again for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one.